Hi everyone, it's Karen. I'm back and I wanted to share with you this altered book that I have done. I have really wanted to start doing some art journaling again. I haven't done it for over a year and it was something I really enjoyed doing, and I don't know, life just got in the way and I didn't get back into it, and this year it was on my list of things that I wanted to get back into. So I have this book. It's a hardcover book. It's 8.5 by 11, and I altered the book. I did a new cover on it, and then I've glued the pages together inside, and so I've created some nice stable pages to create some spreads on. I'm calling it an art journal. I'm not an artist. I don't consider myself to be an artist. I'm very creative, and I love to color. I love to use paper and laces and other fibers to work with. I love to tat and crochet and bead, and I just want to sort of do anything that I feel like I want to do, and put that on a page, and and try some new things too. Like I want to try more painting and watercolors and some new techniques that I've learned with painting and stenciling and that kind of thing. I hope that this is going to be a fun thing for me to do. That's my hope, and if it's not, well, we'll move on. But so far I've done 3 spreads. I've done the whole cover and 3 spreads that I'm going to show you, and my plan was to work on it once a week, but again we went away for a week, and so I didn't get anything done that week, and so again, life gets in the way sometimes, but that's okay. It's not supposed to be any pressure. I created the cover by using some fabric, some lace, doilies. I used some collage pages in the background that I had already collaged ahead of time and had put them aside to use on a project, and so they were almost the perfect size, so I just had to add a little bit of extra papers around the edge to make them work. I added fabric on the side and on the spine just to add more stability to all the things that I was putting on. I don't draw, so this is not something that I have drawn, but I love faces and I love coloring faces, and so I got these. These are part of Prima Marketing, and I got them on Amazon, and they are actually to put in a planner, and they come with like the holes down the side, and I think they come with a little tab on them. So what I did was I alcohol inked the picture, and then I fussy cut it out of the background, and I put it onto the journal, and I put it on this journal with some hot glue in sort of blobs so that it sits up a bit from the backing. And then these labels I printed off the Graphic Fairy, and they're free. There's all kinds of colors and different ones, and you'll see those that I use off and on some of my pages, and I really like them too. I decided to just put create in the middle of that, and then in the top corner here I put one of my beaded butterflies because I really like them and I really thought it was pretty on the cover. Down the side I have done all tatting and tatted flowers, and so what I did was I made them onto that piece of cotton that I used here for the binding on the side, or just to make the cover more stable. And so I've done, and there's a few silk roses in there as well, tucked in there, I think 3 or 4, and the rest are all tatted flowers that I've done. And some of them I've added some beads and some French knots, and a few little buttons are scattered in there as well. And that's it. So that created the spine, and I just chose the colors, kind of went off the colors that I had chosen to do the lady and her beautiful floral bouquet in her hair. I took those colors and then continued those on to the spine. And then the back of the book is just, again, one of those collage pages that I had done a while back, and I had just taken all kinds of papers that I had in my stash and created this collage piece, and then I just added what I needed to make it fit onto this book. and then also added the fabric on the side. And I tore the fabric because I like the look of that. So that's the book itself, and I consider the cover and everything part of my creative process because it took me a while to just get the cover done. But like I said, it's just something I want to just have fun with and really enjoy, and so far I have. So let's have a peek. I'll show you inside the few spreads I've done. I've decided, since they are large pages, I'm going to do one spread per page, and then I will just try and coordinate so that the page, because you're looking at them at the same time, that the pages kind of complement each other at least. So this one, I had an Edith Holden book. I got a really good deal on a used one on Amazon, I think a year and a half ago, and I've hardly used anything out of it because it's so hard to rip it up. So I decided to use the majority of this page, since this particular spread was done on May the 16th. I used the one for May, and I added in some of the flowers that were on the edges of the other pages. I fussy cut them out and added them on as well to sort of do a bit of a collage there. This is some digital downloads that I purchased from Roxy Creations on Etsy, and she has some beautiful digital downloads. I have several of them that I've purchased, and I just love them because I can print them off and use them over and over again, and I do, because there are a lot of florals and birds and butterflies are the kind of ones I bought, and I use those a lot. This is a doily that I put in behind here, and a bit of book page, butterfly, and some tea-dyed and stenciled paper down at the bottom corner here. And this one I put, no journey is too great if you find what you seek. And so this is kind of my journey on my art journaling. And this is, again, one of the labels that I printed off of the Graphics Fairy. It was free, and I just put joy there because this whole process, I feel that it did bring me joy, and that's what I want. This spread on this page, I wanted to continue with some of the colors and pull them over into the next page. I wanted to use this one piece of owl napkin that I had left. I wanted to use it in something that I wasn't going to give away and that I could look at, because it was just, I love the colors in it. And so I built a tree for the owl to sit in. And what I did was I used the edge of my burlap fabric that I had. It had like a salvaged edge all stitched like this, and I used pieces of it, and then I also took other pieces of the burlap and I braided them to make it a bit wider, because the salvaged edge wasn't that wide. And so on each side of this is actually braided 3 strands of burlap, and I braided them, and then I circled them a bit, put like a knot in the tree, a couple more here, and then went up the page and then over to make it look like it's branching out. And then I used more of the burlap, and I added in branches coming out. And then this is that leaf trim that a lot of us have in our stash. I can't remember where I got mine. I think it was from eBay a long time ago. And I just cut pieces of it and added that in on the branches, and then the little paper flowers as well, just to add to that branch and tree that owl is sitting in. And you know, it's not about, like, I know it might not, the composition might not look perfect, and I'm not going for that. I'm just enjoying the process. And if the owl doesn't look in the proper proportion to the branches and the flowers below, oh well, I'm not getting too overly concerned about that. So again, I collaged the back with music paper and some more digital download. This again is one from Roxy Creations, and I used some of this collage page that she had, and then I fussy cut out other pieces and actually collaged them in as well. So some of it's already pre-collaged, and some of it I've done myself to add in the pieces to make them all flow the way I wanted to. And I sort of, you can see I brought the irises over from this page, and I added some in over here, and a bit of the pink, and the pink on the side of the page over here, and then I brought some pink in over here. So tried to tie it in a bit. And on this one I put creativity takes courage, because I do believe sometimes it does take a bit of courage to do some of these spreads and to share them. This one I did May 17th, and I also included a label on there, and that one I put happy because that's how I felt when I finished that page. And then this is the page I just finished today prior to doing this video, and this is the next page prepped. So what I have done is glued some of the pages together and prepped them with some gesso so that they're good to receive paint or napkins or whatever. At least it's not that sort of dimmed into the background, and will be even further with whatever I put on. Because this page was the same as the others. It's had the same, looked exactly the same with the picture sort of dimly in the background. And by the time you build your collage and do your page, you can't even see that anymore. And the pages are heavy enough that they will hold things nicely, but not too thick that I won't be able to fill the book properly because it'll get too fat. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I tried to be very careful with how many pages I ripped out and then the ones that I glued together. So this spread I decided to just give myself some prompts. I know there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube right now following different people that give out prompts, and other people are following those prompts, but I just wanted to pick my own. So I picked an old letter, vellum, napkin, lace, a book page, and I wanted to include this little envelope that I had done, which is embroidery on paper. I really love embroidering on paper. It's really fun. It's just a whole different kind of tactile experience than embroidering on fabric. And so I'll just bring it up so you can have a look and see what I've done. So I started with a printed out image, another digital download that I have purchased, and then what I did was embroidered over top to accent the photo. It actually, there's a lot of work involved in it, but again, it's something that I can sit and do when I'm watching a TV series with my husband or a movie. I don't usually sit idle. I always have something in my hands going, and this is really enjoyable. And when I do embroidery on paper, I take a fine needle and I pre-poke some of my holes so that I don't rip the paper, and then I use that to dictate how, and then the pattern underneath, I use a bit of that to incorporate how I'm going to do the embroidery that I put on. And then I just embroider just like you would on fabric. This is vellum, the Eiffel Tower here, and I've just hand torn that out of a piece of vellum that I got printed. This also is from that same piece, and this piece here too. And I got those vellum pieces from a seller on AliExpress. And then here's the letter, and again, that was I got a bunch of them in different colors and fonts from AliExpress. This is a napkin in the background here. It goes down the side of the page, and I love the roses on it, and I think it just tied in the colors really nicely, and Paris and roses and lace, it all seemed to go together so nicely. This is part of a lace top that I bought from a thrift store, and I just cut that out to go on there. And then a label again. This one just roses in Paris. I just thought love was the right word to put in there. Little butterflies that I've made out of a paper flower that I just took the 5th petal out of and added in a little bit of embroidery floss for their antennae and a little bling for their bodies. And then in this little pocket I made a little card, a little tag. I guess it's more like a journaling card. It's not shaped like a tag. It has the journaling card shape. And again, I just did some napkin work on there, some of that vellum. And then this I had stamped onto some tea-dyed paper, Live with Promise, and I slid in the pocket there. So that's my spread that I did today. So I'm planning to try and keep up with it weekly. I may actually share some of my process with you when I'm planning my page. I don't know. Maybe you can comment down below if you're interested in actually seeing how I plan out a page, or whether you're just interested in seeing the final pages as I go. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my new art journal, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.